Good morning, good evening, good whatever time it is that you are joining us in yet another informative, educative, and empowering session of the KAZI Dubai webinar. And let me just check online to make sure we are on. Yes, we are live on YouTube. That is the Mawaida Africa YouTube. We are live on LinkedIn. Just make sure um, we are live on LinkedIn, and so if you're joining us from LinkedIn, send us your comments, your questions. Yes, I can see we are live on LinkedIn, LinkedIn. Let me make sure we're live also on YouTube. Not on YouTube, but on Facebook. Sorry, on the Boniface Niaga Facebook. Yeah, we are live, and so we are ready get going on another very exciting webinar. Today we're talking about how to win in the GCC job market. For those who are not familiar with GCC, that encompasses the UAE. It also encompasses, and UAE, of course, Dubai. For those who may not be very familiar, Dubai is a state, one of the Emirates states, which includes also Abu Dhabi, Ras Al Khaimah. Those are the key ones. And then also we have Qatar, we have Saudi Arabia, we have Bahrain. All those encompass the Gulf what we call the GCC countries. And the reason why we're focusing so much on the GCC is because when you look at how the economic growth is going, GCC is really taking their space in the global economy. Just the other day, I remember the president of US, Donald Trump, visited Qatar, visited basically that whole region. And he came back with, I think, about 3 trillion, 4 trillion worth of investment. So the way the GCC is set up, it's leapfrogging because of mostly because of the economic policies that they have put in place, and now they are able to attract a lot of foreign investors. So, and because of that, it's really growing into a global hub for business, and that is why we are focusing a lot on that because obviously they need quality, qualified professionals pick up the positions that are coming up as that economic growth then goes on and people to drive that economic growth. And that is why at Patakazi we are solely focused on Dubai. Yes, we are Patakazi Dubai, but we also have a keen eye on the GCC area and just help you position yourself for that. Obviously, once you think GCC, you have to think global market because you are competing with the rest of the world. I can assure you, if you're from Africa, there's people from the US, there's people from Europe who are fighting to get into those spots. And that is why today's episode is, aimed towards that. And of course, I bring you the best in the business to help you with that. And some good feedback before we go on from someone from Zambia. It's not called, you know, the communique was being shared. And she said something that was really encouraging. That she said, this platform is giving good and genuine information for people looking to move to Dubai. I I attended the last two sessions, and the information was very helpful. I encourage you share with friends and family who are looking to relocate here. If you're already in Dubai and looking for your next move, this would be insightful webinar. That was so encouraging because I can assure you that is exactly what we are trying to achieve, particularly with these webinars. Information is power, guys. Empower yourself with information. So many people, particularly from across Africa, fall victim to all this comes because of the lack of information. Even for those in Dubai, people are stagnant and stuck in their careers just because they don't have access to information of how do I get to the next level? What even the next level? Okay. So guys plateau in their careers, guys plateau in their growth. Whether you're looking for a job, you're looking for the next big job in your career, or looking to even shift your career. What direction do you shift in? And that's why we're here for you. So take advantage of these amazing webinars to learn And I always say the more you learn, the more you earn. And let me bring on my brother from another mother. Hassan, how are you?
Hey, Bonnie, how are you?
I'm great. I'm great. I'm great. Where are you right now? You still in Bahrain or you've gotten back to
Still
Dubai?
in Bahrain. No, 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 no. Still in Bahrain.
Ah, okay. How's the
Yeah.
weather down there? Getting hotter.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, obviously, it's the GCC, the plateau is hot. The minimum temperature is about 34, 35 degrees. So
Mm,
it's hot.
That's why you should come to Kenya, Hassan. Here, the weather right now, I don't know what the weather is. I think right now we are at 20 something.
Such a beautiful weather. Seriously. I mean, I am planning. I mean, I have to
Oh,
come.
you have,
And
you have to come.
yeah, I have to. I have to. I have to.
Awesome. Awesome. So introduce yourself for those who don't know you.
Uh,
And I'm telling a little bit about what's thing about the topic of the day.
all right. So, hi everyone. My name is Hassan. I'm the founder and CEO of Human Transformation Crew. We are management consulting, training and development, transformation coaching, and mentoring organization. We work in the ambits of organizational design and development. Plus, we are also looking at a vast area of how we work in. We work in the South Asian market, European market, GCC, and now we have for the past, I think, 1 year, we have now stepped into Africa with this beautiful platform called KAZI Dubai was born. So today, what we're actually going to look at, I mean, looking at our previous webinars and everything, what we were trying to do is share as much information, as much knowledge, as much as we have to you guys to get you a good job or your dream job into the G GCC market. And for the past 2 weeks and earlier, we've been bringing along people from across the globe who have been telling us the do's and don'ts and what to do, what not to do, answering your queries. We are also involved with doing mock interviews, helping you enable yourself and bringing that confidence in you that you can compete with the rest of the world in a place like a GCC. Well, because if you look at GCC, it covers like UAE, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, and Oman, countries that are very promising. But as you have experience, breaking into these market isn't easy. It takes more than just a good CV or a strong degree. It takes strategy, it takes cultural awareness, networking, and yes, patience. These are the tools that you need to have within you, and the enthusiasm or the spark within you to move on to greater heights. So So that is what the entire theme of Patakazi Dubai is. That is the entire theme of what we do. And another thing that we do is we do disrupt HR events as well. It's a platform that we use to uh, bring in good HR
Awesome.
professionals from the market, giving you information. Sorry, yeah. We're experiencing a delay in our platform today. I don't know. maybe if we're going fine, let us know.
Mhm. Interview. Hi, Hassan. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry. I think that there was a delay in our communication, but glad to see you're back online.
Awesome, awesome. So I was just saying that, yeah. So we've been doing a couple of evaluation interviews. Maybe give your feedback so far, what you've seen, and what you feel people are gaining from those evaluations.
Yeah, I'll keep it short and brief. I don't want to hijack the entire show like I usually do from the guest speaker that we have. So, but any
Yeah.
and she is one of one of our brilliant HR professionals who has been working in a lot of market, but commonly what we see is communication skills. What we see is your body language when you're actually giving the interviews, your CV. Your CV has to match what you're telling us, and
Mm.
it has to be quantifiable. Plus, one of my favorite jokes, I mean, one of me and my Bonnie's favorite joke is
Mm.
I can do anything. So
Yeah.
I can do anything is does not cover the entire platform. So you have to have a specialization, you have to have a passion. So doing everything
Mm.
is not what the market requires.
Yes, please. If that is your employment strategy for the GCC, please change. Okay, I can do anything is not an employment strategy. Because the person who's hiring you obviously is not hiring you to just do anything. There's a particular set of skills that they want you to have, and they need you to have. So that is not what employers out here looking for. But I think also one area that a lot of people also maybe struggle with is the fact that a lot of professionals have been operating in the local market. And of course, Dubai and the GCC is a global market. And so I find a lot of people are, yes, they may be very qualified, people who have a lot of years, 5, 10 years of experience in your field. But when it comes to transitioning to GCC, this is a global market. And so there's that transition that people really need to learn how to do. Another thing also, you have a lot of people who are in they did a degree in one area which they wanted to pursue, but unfortunately, in the markets in which they operate in, they didn't get a job in that market. So they ended up working and getting a lot of experience in another area. So now they're trying to either transition to something totally different or, get back to their first love or something like that. So there's a lot in terms of the journey that people are trying to figure out as they're moving to GCC. That's why we're here for you guys. So please, I really encourage
And
guys to sign up for the evaluation interview. Every time when people reach out to me, they're like, Bonnie, what jobs are available? Oh, Bonnie, I have this degree. What can I get? Uh, there's so many questions people have, and to be honest, we cannot answer those questions until we have evaluated you, so that then we can be able to give you a fair answer. And that's why we're really encouraging you sign up for the evaluation interviews. Reach out on bonnie@mawaida.com or +254 755 623 911. And yes, this is definitely the 911 of emergency. If you're looking for a job in Dubai, please sign up for those. That's why Actually, I never noticed that number has a 911. So call 911. Emergency. I need a job in Dubai. So
Yeah, yeah,
please, guys,
and
reach out. This
and
system is created like that to
adding
help you.
to
The 911.
yeah, and adding to what Bonnie said, yeah, you see, what we're used to working in our own particular countries. So we are particularly used to our own
Mm,
culture. So what we need to understand that when we are going across the borders, you have to understand the culture, you have to understand the market, do your research. That
mm,
that's important.
mm. Exactly. Exactly. Do your research. Very, very critical. And that is why also we're doing these webinars. And by the way, these webinars are available on all the platforms even after this interview. So please pick the links, share with your friends everywhere, because this should form part of your research when you're looking for a job in Dubai and GCC. And maybe as before we bring in Kuratulain, you can speak a little bit because Hassan, you've worked in Pakistan. You of course when you launched also in Dubai, you've been doing a
Yeah.
project in Bahrain for a while. Talk to us about what's happening across GCC and why is GCC the next frontier for careers and for people looking to join the global job market.
Actually, as far as GCC is concerned, GCC now become one of the most looked into central hub for people who want to move. Initially it was just Dubai. So what people usually have seen or what they've
Mm,
been exposed to is largely Dubai. But now
mm,
the biggest market that's growing, that's Saudi. So the Riyadh market is extremely
mm,
growing. There are about every approximately 2 months, 3 months, there are about 150 international organizations that are registering their business in the Saudi market. And apart from UAE, which is
wow.
not just Dubai, it is Abu Dhabi, it
Mhm,
is Sharjah, it is Ras Al Khaimah, it's Ajman, it's so many
mhm,
places. And now, if you know, we've been talking about it about the expansion project of multinational hotel chains and then airports and everything into the Ras Al Khaimah. So what's going on is
mhm,
that they have the entire GCC market. You look at Qatar, you look at Oman, you look at Bahrain itself. What's happening
mhm.
is that because of such influx of open jobs, they are pouring in people from different parts of the world. So what you're doing is you are actually competing yourself with more than 200 nationalities. So if you want to stand out, if you want to go ahead into the market, you
Wow.
have to understand the dynamics of the entire market as well.
Mhm. Interesting. Yes, and and that's why we're here. That's why we're here to educate you and to empower you on what's happening, because and maybe for those who may because a lot of people, if you're just looking for a job, you just want a job. You don't care about the macroeconomics. Um, but I think it's important for us to understand the macro, narrow down to even the business or the company that you're working for, your sector. So it's important for you to just study the macroeconomics so that then you understand what's going on in your particular country and also what's going on around the world. So as you're thinking about your long-term career, because obviously your career exists within a sector, and that sector exists within an economy, a microeconomy and a macroeconomy and a regional economy. Okay. And that's why it's so important for you to understand. what is going on? Like when we look at Africa, yes, Africa has a lot of potential for investments and all that kind of a thing. But a lot of that potential is yet to be realized again because of a lot of infrastructure that needs to be put in. So in terms of it's a good place for entrepreneurs, and maybe for some people with certain specialized skills for accelerating growth. But for the general job market, right now it might not be a very big earner. The same thing with the West. You're seeing the political upheavals that are going on with the Western economies. We're looking at you've seen the tariff wars between China and and America. You've seen Ukraine war and all those kinds of things. All those political upheavals affect the macroeconomy. Obviously, those economies are a bit more resilient, and so it's good as you're planning out your career and as you're looking at your particular career. It's good also to look at the macroeconomics so that you understand how is the macroeconomics affecting your particular sector. How is the macroeconomics affecting the microeconomics? How is the microeconomics affecting your sector? How is your sector then affecting your own company? Otherwise, that's why you'll see people being laid off and they are lost because they're wondering, how did this happen? Why are we being laid off? I thought this sector was so strong, but it's because you didn't you didn't look at the bigger picture as you're planning out your career. And so then you get caught up in the whirlwind that is absolutely nothing of your doing, but unfortunately affects you. So, and that's why when we look at what's happening what has happened in Dubai, and then what is happening across GCC, we're looking at that as a key area where current and future employment and career growth opportunities are. And that's why our partner KAZI Dubai, we're really focused on that sector and helping you to understand that sector now of recruitment, because by that time the competition will be so high. This is a time to get in. Already the competition is high enough, but obviously it's going to get higher and higher and higher. And that's why we are like this. And that's why we're here so that then we can give you information inside information from without any further ado. I am going to invite yes, hi Hassan. We seem to be having
Yeah,
a
yeah, but there's a voice breakdown.
we seem to be having a bit of
Yeah.
technical
We
difficulty.
have we have Kuratalan here. Kuratalan, welcome to Patakazi, Dubai. I hope you're doing well. And how is the evening in Pakistan?
Thank you very much, Hassan and Bonnie, for the warm welcome. And the weather here is very pleasant right now. And today I'm very thrilled to be the part of this conversation.
All right, so Kuratalan, please give us your introduction to our audience of who you are, what do you do, and then we'll take it from there.
Bonnie, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Okay. So I'll keep the intro short because
um can you hear her? Hassan, can you hear?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear Kuratalan very clearly, but there's a um, delay from your side.
Yes, you're good. Good now.
Okay, so I'll keep the intro short because obviously LinkedIn exists for a reason. But to keep it relevant to today's topic and how I aim to add value, I'm the founder and CEO of Ace Recruitment Global, and we have been
Okay.
offering
Now I
HR
think I can hear
consulting.
her.
Bonnie still cannot hear us.
Sorry.
Okay. So I am providing HR consultancy and talent solution across the globe. And with over 17 years of experience, I believe that it's the time that we start giving back to the industry.
You're good.
Um,
Continue.
not only with the advice, but with real actionable insights to help the businesses and the job seekers to thrive in the fast moving GCC job market. So buckle up.
All right. So, Kuratalan, the one thing that I want to start with
Buckle up for
is
some really good
what
information.
are the top three things candidate often get wrong in their CVs while they're applying to the GCC based roles?
Okay. The job market in GCC is ultra competitive. Obviously, Hassan, you know better than us. With the thousand applications for one role. Sorry, I'm actually getting the call.
No problem.
But okay, we are getting 1,000 of applications for one role, and the truth is that most of the applicants are not optimizing their resumes as per the ATS. The use of one resume for all kind of jobs is not the right thing. Many candidates, they don't understand the local hiring practices in UAE or in GCC. So I would just highlight two to three things that I have experienced when I was in Dubai. I had to unlearn and relearn because obviously what looked great in Pakistan, it wasn't getting even noticed in UAE. So the first thing is to tailor your resume. You should have the right keywords in your resume. I remember that someone asked me that, can I just put hardworking in my resume? And I just told them that, if you are carrying bricks in the office, then maybe you can write it. So they need to know that how you are actually translating or the keywords, how are you actually using them. For example, if you are using, I have good communication skills, and communication skills is the right word, it's the right keyword. And instead, if you use English spoken, that is not the right word. So you need to know, you need to search according to your experience or your job or whatever role you are applying for. You should find the right keywords and just put them in your resume. This is what we call tailoring the resume. Second thing is the LinkedIn optimization. There was a survey last year, I guess, in Gulf Talent, that there are 74% of the recruiters are now searching for candidates on LinkedIn, even if before they are looking at some other platforms, or if they post it online anywhere on other job portals, they first prefer to look at their LinkedIn profile. So it's a must. You cannot ignore a LinkedIn profile anymore. You have to have LinkedIn optimized again with the right keywords. And LinkedIn is not a resume, it's different. You are actually branding yourself, you are branding your expertise, your skills. And in branding, when you are talking about you are marketing your skills, you have to put it in a way that it's quantifiable, like what impact you have created in last places or the companies where you were working before or earlier. So it is very important that you optimize your LinkedIn. And the third thing is that you join UAE based job groups, whether it's on LinkedIn or it's in Facebook, because networking is very important nowadays. Um, you can start small, maybe you can do freelancing or volunteer for some kind of roles, or maybe do online internships, because Dubai actually loves starters. And if you want to start, you can just try the platforms like bed.com, Gulf Talent, or even naukrigulf.com. So you can look for these kind of groups where you are getting where people are sharing their experiences, how they are applying for the jobs, and even get in touch with the recruiters directly on LinkedIn, rather than you are just waiting, applying and waiting for the job call. You can just maybe say hello and have a feedback, or maybe follow up with the recruiter that you have applied and now you are waiting for the response. So these are the top 3 to 4 things I would say is optimizing your resume, your LinkedIn, your networking. These are very important things when you are applying in the GCC market.
Well, lovely. So while we're talking about the ATS system, we're talking about LinkedIn, we're talking about optimization. So how is artificial intelligence, AI, or tech influencing the recruitment decisions in the region?
See, why is it so hard to get the job in GCC? When you have the degrees, when you have skills, when you have solid experience. So I would say it's market saturation. When there are thousands of applicants for a single job post, and only 80% of uh, not actually 80% of them getting selected, 80% of them are getting rejected. Only 20% of them actually are getting notified by the recruiters. Why actually that happens? Because people are using the recruiters or the hiring team or HR people, they are using application tracking system. And application tracking systems are important and being used globally, because when there is a lot of competition, and the kind of market that we have in UAE, we know that people are coming from all other from all nationalities. We have to be smart enough to stay in the market. So talking about AI and how smartly we are using it, when we are interviewing people, we are using AI tools. AI tools use to see, even they actually look at your face expressions, your body posture, and everything. They can scan it, and right there and then the recruiters can decide whether the candidate is up to the mark or not. So if you are not smartly using the tools, or you don't have the knowledge about the AI tools being used for the hiring, you obviously are not going to get the opportunity. So after the ATS, once you know about the ATS, you are using all these keywords in the resume. We recruiters, like from my experience, what I would share is that we we actually inform the candidates, only those candidates who are actually shortlisted. Like, we are getting millions of applications, and we are not even giving them a response that you are getting rejected. It's that saturated, and it's that much competitive right now. The need of the hour is that you have to be in one of the top applicants with the ATS friendly resume. And once you get the call, your communication skills obviously have to be good. You cannot ignore the fact that English is obviously the global language. You should have good command in English language skill. And thirdly, you should know that what is the company all about, what they do, what are their future plans. Because if you haven't studied about the company, you cannot make an impact during the interview. You cannot convince them that you are actually going to make a difference for them.
All right. So coming back to coming back to the topic on how to win in the GCC job market. Um, because people are creating their resumes, they have different styles, they have different formats. So as from a recruiter's perspective or your perspective, is there a specific CV format or approach that works well in the GCC market?
Well, for GCC and for any other country around the globe, as I told you, that this is the global standard now, that you have to have an ATS friendly resume. And ATS standard is actually Harvard style. You can even search it on Google. And I think that people now know how to use ChatGPT. So they
Mm,
can just simply put all the information. Let's just be honest, Hassan, nobody wants to know our name. Nobody wants nobody's interested in our contact number or address. Why you? It's all about branding, how we are marketing ourselves. So this is how we present ourselves. Like, you have worked in a company for so and so years, and what impact you have created. Like, when you joined the company, it was at a level like 50%, and from there you picked it up, and once you were leaving the company, the market shares or the profitability just boosted to 70%. So this is the impact that you created. This is what you have to put in your resume. If you are just writing that I was just, making files, I was just putting in the information, nobody wants to know that. People want to know, the recruiters or the company founders or the CEOs like myself. I want to know, if someone is coming to my company, what difference they can make. And this is a simple logic, I guess. And today, in the age of AI and automation, nobody can complain that we do not know anything. Everyone knows everything. All their information is available on YouTube. There are so many courses available. You can customize your resume with free tools, and you can just put the information, and it will just, I cannot name all the tools, but you can find it by yourself. You can just customize your resume, and the most important thing, as you were saying in the start of the conversation, that everyone wants to do everything. Yes, maybe you can do everything, but for that specific role, when you are applying, you have to customize your resume only for that role. If it is for customer support, you should highlight only the customer support skills, rather than mentioning that I can do HR or I can do marketing too. I am jack of all trade. So obviously, the recruiters like myself, when we are looking at a resume and we are getting confused that which area you are good in, maybe we are unable to decide where we can fit you in.
So, okay, lovely. That covers mostly broad aspects of what people wanted to hear from you. One other thing I wanted to ask you, I mean, this is particularly regarding the CV. So, does the GCC employer prefer a competency-based CV, or they're looking for simple CVs? Because people get confused between different formats. So, what's the difference between a traditional CV or a competency a base CV?
Yes, as I said, that the competence is obviously where you are showing your impact, how, what difference you have made in your last companies or with the employers. So it should be, it should show numbers. It should show figures. It should show the KPIs that you have been achieving, your overall, maybe you have been getting rewarded for something, you have been getting promoted, so you have to mention it on your resume, that you have joined as a junior person, and then after 4 to 5 years of experience, you are now a senior person, and then to a managerial role. Maybe that shows your progress and how you are adapting with the skills. And then you have to obviously mention, like, as we all know that AI and automation is there. Whatever field you are in, you have to make sure you are actually learning those skills, you are upskilling yourself. So you have to mention that too. And all those CVs that do not have those skills mentioned in there, they will not there is no chance, because the comparative market like GCC, they recruiters seriously don't even have time. They are getting a lot of resumes every day, and they have to do the placement. They have to find a person within maybe 1 week, and with these deadlines, they cannot call everyone, they cannot give everyone a chance. It's a fair competition. And again, I would say, once you have all the resume keywords over there, the standard, as I said, that you can use is the Howard style. You don't have to make it so colorful with a lot of formatting, because you need to understand one technical thing, which is application tracking system, and how application tracking systems work. If you have used some kind of special characters, or maybe you have used a lot of font, or have used a lot of pictures in it, it will not even land in the system. And if you did not if your resume did not land in the system, how will you even get the call? So this is very important, that the format should be simple and plain, which is Howard style. You can find it on Google. and make sure that you just list down every responsibility with in a quantifiable manner, that I was achieving this KPI, and I did like for recruitment, when we talk about the job closing time and how we are doing the placement, we talk about how soon we are filling in the place, the jobs. So just like that, in sales you have to mention like the sales that you have closed, how much total revenue you have generated. They want to see the numbers, the figures, right?
Yeah.
For
Okay.
every company or owner, it is important that they see what value you are bringing in.
All right, lovely. There's one common question that anybody new applying to the GCC gets, that whenever you submit your CV or you land in an interview, the first statement is, "Oh, but you don't have GCC experience." So how can anyone overcome that particular question?
Well, this is a very interesting question. Me and my husband, I will just share my experience. We applied at the same time, and when I went for the interviews, they were all asking me the same question, that you do not have the GCC experience. So how can we hire you? And as compared to me, my husband, he's in sales and he got the job in a very big real estate company. He got lucky, and with his communication skills, I remember that his interview went for 1 hour long, and I was surprised that he's new to the market. And still, it's all about how you present yourself. It's all about personal branding, I would say. Yes, it is important that they prefer that you should have the relevant GCC experience. And for the job applicants, I would say you should not be demotivated. With whatever experience you are coming from your country, maybe you have like a decade of experience, but when you are coming in the GCC market, you have zero experience. So you may be getting the starter jobs rather than a managerial kind of job. So you should not expect that much. Take a start at least from somewhere, and once you have like a 1 year of experience, maybe you are at a better place and you can look for better opportunities. So that's what I did. I started at a very small level. I started as an assistant, and I, in a very few time, when they saw that I had managerial skills, I could manage things. I got all the responsibilities, and I started doing everything on my own. So that this is why my piece of advice.
So okay, so one last question from me, and then Bonnie can join in. So what are the some of the common mistakes international candidates make when applying for the roles at the GCC market?
See, as I have mentioned in before, that one size doesn't fit all is the key. That whatever is the job requirement, you should just scan all the job details. You should read it thoroughly. You should understand what is being required, and then customize your resume accordingly. Whatever is requested or being required in the job description, you should mention all those keywords in the resume. So if they have asked, maybe if they're asking you to you should have GCC experience, maybe you can cover that later in your interview. But in the resume, it should show some kind of knowledge, maybe that you have the job market experience or knowledge, that you know about the job market here. And the cover letters, people really do not work on their cover letters. Cover letter is, again, like the word itself, cover letters, it covers all the issues that you have in your resume, or maybe the areas where you're lacking. So you should justify everything in your cover letter, that you are applying for this role, you think that you are eligible for this because you have this much experience, because this is your knowledge, this is your degree. You have to justify it with every thing in your cover letter. That is very important in the GCC market, when you know that you don't have any experience or background. Then about the LinkedIn is very, very important. And when you know that you don't have experience, LinkedIn is going to work for that too, because if your LinkedIn is properly optimized, you have a good highlighted LinkedIn title over there, that you have this much experience, you have in your last job, this is what your achievements were, these were the awards that you got. Once you just promote yourself, you are doing the personal branding, there are good chances that even for the roles that you are not eligible for, you may get a chance. Because
mm,
obviously, when companies are looking for cheap labor, or maybe they are looking for people that maybe, uh, the fresh people, how they can make a difference is when they are not very expensive for them, so they like to give chance to other people. And also when it
mm,
comes to making the retention policies, they know that they would love to stay with the company for longer as compared to locals, because they have better opportunities. And if the company does not have a good branding itself, so it's a good chance for the candidates to get a job, in a faster way. And
mm,
lastly, I would say that when you are applying for the job, you should not be demotivated, and just focus on one thing, that you're just applying and applying. You should be networking. Go and attend the conferences. There are many training sessions or free sessions going on, even online. You should attend them, get connected with the recruiters, or join the groups on LinkedIn, Facebook, on social media, and just get to know to people. Once they know you, sometimes you don't even know that maybe you will get the job from a reference. So it's better
mm.
that you introduce yourself. Again, you're doing your personal branding. You introduce yourself and tell them, these my are my expertise. If you think there is some kind of a suitable job for me, you just let me know.
Mm. That is so true. So true. Thank you so much, Kuratulain. And I think one of the areas, especially when it comes to looking for a new job, that people underestimate is the power of selling yourself. I think a lot of people don't understand that an interview is the same way a salesperson. Like whenever you walk into a supermarket or when you go to an exhibition, there's all these people who are standing there who have been put there by their companies to sell their product. So you are essentially a sales. You're in a sales position. a job, a, a job seeker is a sales is a sales job essentially,
Yeah.
and your job is to sell yourself to the potential employees and employers. And unfortunately, sales skills, obviously for me, because I come from a media and marketing background, I know that sales is actually a skill. There's some people who have a talent, who are naturally good at selling, and that's why part of our training and coaching program includes, like you say, personal branding, but also training you and giving those skills of how to sell yourself, because it's not a normal skill, and it's one of those things that a lot of people don't think about. But when it's game time, when you're in that interview, the concept of, like you're saying, networking, learning how to do elevator pitches, how do you describe yourself in 5 seconds in a way that is attractive? Because when we've been doing our evaluation interviews, some people really are very good at underselling themselves. You know, it's like you're trying to convince me not to give you a job. Um, one of my clients calls it demarketing. Is there's marketing. The opposite of marketing is demarketing. So a lot of guys literally demarket themselves. You start talking, and it's like every single word you're saying is making me say, why should I even give you a job? A lot of people, of course, like you're saying, demotivated. Guys are so demotivated when they are on this job interview. Someone is almost, to be honest, I'm sorry if it sounds bad, but there are some people during the interviews, they sound like an NGO advert. You know, save the children or help. You almost sound like you're asking for money because you're there, you're giving us a litany of your problems. How, oh, I'm looking for this job, I really need this job, I'm so lonely, I've been going through this, I've been through this. Um to be honest, that's just it just sounds so defeatist, and it comes from that place where you're not motivated at all, you're not encouraged. And I know it's tough, and to be honest, I really understand, because obviously when looking for a job, you're in a very desperate situation, and it's easy to give in to that desperation. And if you watched the webinar last week, we're talking about the desperation trap. And so all those things are the little things that come in and really mess you up, and that's why we're here to try and help you with that. So maybe now we can go into the question section. There's someone who's reached out on text. They said, "Hi Bonnie, I got BSc community health science. I got a bachelor of science in community health science with a high experience in customer care. What kind of jobs can I get in the GCC?" It's a very common area where you find someone has qualification in one thing and experience in another. How do you help someone like that package themselves for the GCC market? Maybe Hassan and Korat can you can pick that.
Yep.
Okay,
Maybe we
well,
can start with Hassan.
No, no, we'll start with Kurataran.
okay, as I said that I'm not repeating again and again. I don't want to bore people. That ATS friendly resume, ATS friendly keywords. Yes, we help people by customizing their resumes. We first see that if they do not have the customized resumes, ATS friendly resumes, then we just help them setting up the resume, and then with the LinkedIn optimization, and then we prepared them for the interviews, like what kind of questions they are expected to get during their interviews, and we prepared them for that. Yes, it's a part of career counseling, but we just stay relevant to their experience and whatever the demand in the industry right now. And with AI and automation, we know that there are a lot of people who have even maybe used those tools, but they don't mention it in their resumes. We always prefer that they put all those tools, those technologies they have worked in their resume, so whatever company is hiring for that position, they should know that they are already trained, and they don't have to maybe train them on those tools. So this is how we help people, and not just that we tell them that if they're applying for, let's say, customer success manager job, we actually make them understand that if the company's requirement for that specific role is something, if it is missing in their resume, and maybe they are just trying to manipulate it, they cannot cover it during the interview. So we even help them to understand if they have to cover that question, or they actually need a training for that. So, like Hassan is already into this, he has been providing these certified trainings. So, we always recommend them that first, maybe you can look for specific training and get trained in that specific area. And once you upskill yourself, you can maybe apply in the job market again.
Okay.
Yeah, and very true. You see, certifications are very, very important in the GCC market. So it adds value to what people how people look at you, and how they gauge you on your knowledge. And coming back to the question that you actually asked, so if somebody has customer services experience, let's say, so if you're on a starting role, then this is something like call centers or client relation executives, help desk, receptionist,
Mhm.
front desk officer, or let's say customer relationship manager, management coordinations. But if you're looking at the specific GCC market, so what you actually have is, let's say, I mean, for example, if it's the aviation industry, you can ground staff customer services experience, jobs that you could look at. So if it's the a hotel in industry, so it's a hotel guest relations or concierge, Then, if it's mall or brand based, it can be retail sales associate or customer advisor. If it's bank, it's customer services associate. Healthcare, it's healthcare front officers. So it actually depends which industry you're in, which sector you're in, which industry you're targeting, which sector you are targeting. So that we can match what you know, what you understand into what is required from the job. So there are 50 to 80 titles that they have. It's not just about the title or what kind of a job you can get. It's basically the industry that you want to go into, number one. And then is your experience matched with what is required in that particular industry? So that's very important for us to link. Because if you're working in the banking sector and you see that somehow through a magic wand you can get into the airline industry as a pilot, that's not going to happen. So you
Of
need
course.
to have that specific experience. You need to have that specific skill within you. Because if you say customer services or customer excellence, there are thousand jobs I can think of around the world and around different industry. So if you're saying what kind of a job, what I will ask you, what industry experience do you have? And what is available in that particular in industry in that particular country, so that we can actually narrow that down and then give you a blank in standard on where you stand in the market. So that's very important to understand.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So Winfrey, I hope that helps. And that's why, again, that's why we always really encourage guys to come for the evaluation interviews, because every case is so personalized, it's so specific to your particular case. There is no general answer. I mean, right now we only have 1 hour, obviously, and a lot of questions and all that stuff. We'll try to give you as much information as we can, but at the end of the day, every person is very unique. Your particular situation is very unique, because again, you have a particular degree, you've been in a particular industry for X, and also what roles were you playing in your job experience? Okay, you may have been fine, it's customer care, but what exactly were you doing, and how have all those skills you've learned over the period of your employment then help you in your new role? So there's a lot of mixing and matching that needs to happen, which obviously can't happen in a space like this. But maybe just asking, maybe someone like this who has done community health science and has customer service, maybe could they possibly think of then looking for a customer service job in healthcare?
Mm. Yeah,
That could be one of the possibilities.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You see, then again, coming back, it's healthcare, it's aviation, it's hotel industry. It can be a corporate organization, or can be
Mhm,
representing a brand, or having a front desk in a mall, let's say, right?
mhm,
So
mhm,
what we need to understand, what is the skill of a customer's representative or a customer services, right?
mhm,
Is that you can make the other person understand, listen to them, try to gauge what they're asking, and then respond back appropriately to the answers of their questions.
mhm,
Simple, right?
mhm,
That's customer services, right?
mhm.
So,
Yes.
I mean, now it depends. If I'm asking you about a hotel and then you tell me about the airline, then that is something different.
Mm,
So you,
yeah.
so you have to so you have to be very, very specific. Yeah, and
Yes.
and 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 guys online, one request: please be very, very specific on what you need and what you want from the market.
Yeah.
Customer services, I can name 10,000 jobs. Supply chain, I
Mm,
can give another 1,000 names. What in supply chain? What in
yes.
procurement? What in HR? What in
Yeah.
marketing? What in sales? Because people usually in the arenas that we're working in, don't know the differentiation between supply chain and procurement, don't know the
Mhm.
differentiation between marketing and sales.
Mhm.
You see, these are different elements. These
Yeah.
require different sets of skills, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that is how what Kuratalan has been mentioning. Your CV has to give that particular skill that describes what you know or what you experience about the job, right? So you have to be very particular about that. I mean, um, I welcome all questions, but when you if you want us to make this platform more valuable for you, be very specific.
Exactly.
That is how we can give you specific answers that will help
Mhm.
you in
Mhm.
getting what you actually want.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. So yeah, yeah, yeah. So so Winfrey has also replied. She says she has 7 years as customer service, 3 years in office in Nairobi National Museum, 4 years as customer service in Zuku. Zuku is an internet provider
Okay.
under BPO Nakama Technology. So yeah, so obviously very cross multiple sector. So there's a lot of work there to be done in terms of career coaching and helping you to be very precise because I don't know. I think Pakistan and also the African market tends to be very general. So people just grab whatever job they can get. But the thing people need to understand about GCC is a specialist. It's a specialist market. So you have then to start narrowing down, and the more pinpoint, like you're saying, the more pinpoint you are, the higher your chances of actually getting a job. And that's why that thing of I can do anything. Oh my goodness, please, please. Never say that. A tip for everybody who's signing up for our evaluation interviews, please never say you can do anything. We will just shut down the computer. We're like, no, we'll end the Zoom
Yeah,
right there.
because Bhavani, let me share my personal example, right? So I'm a person who had 20 years of experience in Pakistan, right? So in Pakistan, what I used to do was everything. So starting from
Personal
HR
branding.
journalist, yeah. So starting from journalist roles to let's say HR operational roles and whatnot. So when I picked up my entire experience, I rolled it up to that I am an organizational development professional, right?
Mm,
So when I
yeah.
landed in the GCC, they said, okay, organizational development. What in organizational development?
Mm,
So that again got me thinking. So
mm,
then again, I had to narrow it down because organizational development again is a vast ambit. So
mm,
what in organizational development? So now, based on my experience, based on the work, based on the certifications, based on the skills that I have, I've narrowed it down to organizational design and development. Now,
mm,
if anybody wants to find an organizational design and development, they would know that he's the person because they can understand from the name. If they
mm,
say technical recruitment, they're going to look at Kuratulan saying, yeah, she's the person who does technical recruitment. Then there is a
mm,
C-suite recruitment. Then there is a
mm,
blue collar recruitment, right?
mm,
And if we say that, for example, Bonnie, you're from the marketing uh,
mm,
um, ecosystem, right?
mm,
So what in marketing ecosystem? So then you have to explain. So rather than explaining, if your CV actually tells you that I do brand strategies or I do brand development or this, so then
mm,
people can relate to what you're actually known for.
mm,
That is the first stepping stone into any international market, right? That is what the
mm,
ATS system reads. That is what your CV actually says about you for the other person to understand that, okay, here's my job description. This person applied. How do they match?
Mm,
So it's all about that. And then, as Kuratalan rightly said, it's then it becomes a personal brand,
mm,
and that
exactly.
is how you that is how then you sell yourself.
Awesome. 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 Wow. That is amazing. That is amazing. Let's also go to the comments. Let's see. Mohammed Wakar Rana says the whole countries of Africa is like Naran Kagan of Pakistan. Where is that? I cannot relate.
These
Okay,
are some
so
beautiful places in Pakistan. So
yeah,
Ah,
so
okay. Yes,
might be
very
relating it
beautiful.
to it that yeah, this is so yes,
yeah,
indeed
that
Africa
and
is
he
a
might
beautiful.
be related to the fact that they are underexplored as well. So you don't have much knowledge
Mm,
unless and until you go there and find out what's it all about. So it's
Yes.
a,
what's
so
going
it's
on
it's
there?
it's an uncharted land. So,
Oh, yes. So true. So true. So true. It's so uncharted. And I mean, it's one of the reasons why we started Patakas Dubai so that recruiters in the GCC can get access to the amazing. Because I've operated in this market for many years now. And I know the quality of professionals that we have. I know how hardworking people are, particularly if you're talking of Kenya, Zambia, also Nigeria, the English
mm,
speaking countries, very well spoken, people who are also very adaptive, people who are quick to learn. So I know the quality of professionals that we have in this market. Unfortunately, like you're saying, it's about packaging. They don't know how to package themselves. They don't know how to present themselves for this market and how to contextualize themselves for this. And until actually we started doing Patakauti, they also were not even aware of the position. So if you're not even aware of the position, how can you apply? And that's why we've decided to create this bridge between the
yeah.
and yeah, to be the explorer. So we are like the Vasco da Gamas of African recruitment.
And there is another question from Atif Shahzad. He was Kurutanan, you were mentioning the style of resumes. You were talking about some certain styles. So if you can share those name again with our friend Atif.
Yeah, I have mentioned the resume style, the format, which is as per Harvard. Harvard style is simple and plain with no specific formatting like italic or bold or a special font and no special character like you cannot use dollar sign or asterisk or is equal to signs in your resumes because once it lands in the application tracking system, the way how it is designed, it doesn't recognize it, and then it will just mix it up, or either it will not land at all. It will just go to a black hole where you will never ever get the call, and maybe you are even killing the
Mm,
chances of maybe getting a call in future. So it's
mm,
better to have a ATS resume first, then apply, rather than applying and killing the chances forever.
mm.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So for formats, Atif, adding on to what Ms. Kurutalan was actually saying, you have to understand that whatever format you use, whatever style you use, the important thing is that you need to search or look at of what is read on an ATS-based system. So how does an ATS-based system, which is called as an application tracking system, reads your resume? So it doesn't read pictures, it doesn't read graph, it doesn't read, let's say, an image. That is why if you see, most of the people ask you to send us in a Word file or a PDF file. So the ATS system can read the words. So what it focuses on is that a company has made a job description, and then they match your CV of how many words experiences and things actually match and overlap.
Mhm.
Anything that goes beyond 80-85% is comes in the acceptable range. Why am I saying 80-85%? Because there are, let's say, 3,000, 4,000 CVs per job application.
Mhm.
So people looking into those will not be able to do it in a month's time. So they need more time to actually analyze those CV. That is why artificial intelligence and all of these methodologies came up with solution called as the ATS. So when you apply, your system scans is scanned through an ATS system. It reads it, it evaluates it. If it's as per standard, it moves to the approval zone. Then it goes on to the shortlisting and interviewing and so on and so forth stage. Otherwise, it's put in the database. So
Mhm.
keep it very simple, keep it very logical. Uh, there are many ways of developing a CV, and we'll soon have a very thorough session on that as well. But I hope I was able to answer your question.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. Um, let's look at Majid Shafi. He said, while it's ideal for candidates to research companies before applying, it's important to recognize the practical challenge when applying to multiple opportunities daily. In many cases, a deeper understanding of the company only becomes relevant once an interview is scheduled. Expecting candidates to have detailed knowledge during an initial telephonic screening may not always be realistic, especially when no prior engagement or communication has occurred. Maybe guys can comment on that.
Yeah, I
Research.
mean,
What's the role of
yeah, please,
research?
Kuratala.
Yeah, I think he's trying to say that maybe for the initial assessment, when you are getting the first call, the first telephonic call, you don't need to have all the information about the company. So I would disagree, because if you don't know about the company's mission or vision, and you cannot describe it in the first call, you're never going to get the interview call even, because in the first call, what kind of questions are asked in the GCC market, or I would say globally. The first thing is, tell me something about yourself. Did you read about our company? Did you check our website? So if you didn't check the website, if you haven't studied anything, how are you going to communicate? So this is very important, that you have to study about the company, their what they are working on, what technologies they are working in, and what are they expecting from you. And only then you can make a good impression on the first call.
Yeah, and there's a saying that it doesn't matter what got you in the room, it's how you stay there.
Yeah.
So the more information you have, the more knowledge and understanding you have, because you see the ambit of interviews have actually changed. So
Yes.
now people more want more than just asking questions. So they want to sit down, they want to communicate, they want to understand that the person that we are bringing in understands our culture, not the complete culture, but understand what the company is all about. And when that clicks, it's a win all the way along.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think also it's important for guys to put themselves also in the shoes of the recruiter. This is someone who's trying to fill a position for their company, someone who's going to come to add value. I was speaking to a particular lady who's done recruitment in Dubai, and she's telling me an incident where they were interviewing this person, and they had beautiful communication skills. They were communicating very beautifully in English, and they were answering, and they actually recruited them and brought them all the way to Dubai. Then, when they got to Dubai, they realized this person cannot even speak English, because during the recruitment, there was someone else who was behind who was speaking, and this lady was just lip syncing.
Job scams. Yeah. Yeah, and also I would like to add that for many jobs, like BPO jobs or call center jobs, maybe the call itself is the interview call. They are going to assess everything over the call. They will assess your communication skills and how much you know about the company, how much you know about the job role. So it is very important that you are fully prepared, rather than you just wait for, for the interview and then you will read about the company and everything. So it's best to prepare at the first time.
Hello,
Yeah.
Yeah.
are we back?
Yes, we are.
No, Bonnie is back. We are still here. So actually, Bonnie tends to di disappear a lot.
Yeah.
So,
Because
so
it's a connection between three countries, I guess. That's why we are.
Yeah. Actually, by the way, guys need to realize this is a real global platform. I'm in Nairobi, Kenya. Um, Hassan is in Bahrain. Um, Murat Lane is in Islamabad, Pakistan. So this is a real. We're actually in three continents. I mean, three continents.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
yes,
we are in
three
three.
continents.
We are literally in three different continents. But at least through the power of technology, we're able to link up. And that's what Patakazi is. Patakazi really is, we're a global platform and we're really here to help take your career to a global level. So I was saying, I think we need to actually do also a session for recruiters because recruiters also do get due as they're searching for the candidates to fill their positions. And I think also that's one advantage of the Patakazi Dubai platform because by the time someone is coming out from this program, we've done an evaluation interview. Based on that evaluation interview, we do a coaching and training program that we take them through. So by the time we are for all our recruiters and all the recruiters in our networks, by the time we're bringing a candidate to you, that person has gone through some type of a process. So there's also some kind of fail safe for recruiters out there, and also so recruiters also should consider Patakazi as a critical tool of their recruiting process, where we're able to help filter part of we help you filter candidates and give you also make your work a bit easier. So yes, so it's interesting to see both sides of it. So as of course today we're addressing the job seeker. So as a job seeker, put yourself also in the shoes of a recruiter. Don't only think about you and how desperate and how you really need this job. This is someone who's looking for someone who's going to add value to their company. If it's a HR or if it's a consultant, their job literally depends on how you do your job. Because if you're a recruiter and I recruit you into this company, my name is attached to your performance. So you have to understand that the person who's giving you the job is also risking his or her job, essentially, by giving you this position. So you have to do your best to present the most honest version of yourself, but also the best version of yourself, but also within honesty and integrity. Because I'm sure you've seen those memes of the someone applied for this job and they say they can do it, but then when they actually get in and they're like, "Man, you really lied in your CV."
That's true. True, true, true.
Yeah. So now, just as we are wrapping up, any parting shots? Maybe we can start with you, Kurat Lane. We can start with you and then move to Hassan, and then I can have the closing shot.
Yeah, at the end, I would just say that believe in yourself. Everyone has a different career path, everyone has a different journey. So, it doesn't matter what background or what experience you are coming from. God is there to help you. You should believe in it, and you will never be jobless forever. You should just understand, like, looking for a job itself is a job. You have to strategize it, you have to plan it accordingly. You should study about the companies, what are the market trends. Then also just make a difference, like between the demand and the talent demand and what you are actually good at. then see what are the differences. If there are skills that are required, then you should develop your skills, upskill yourself, and then apply for the job. And for the good for everything, like jack of all trade thing, I would say even if you are good in all aspects, you should have separate resumes for every role, and just highlight that those skills specific to that area, relevant to that job only, rather than saying that I can do customer service and marketing and sales too. And yeah, it is good that you are maybe adding the skills just to add more value, but they should be still relevant. Like for sales, maybe you can say that I know a little bit about marketing and business development. These are relevant things, but you cannot say like about programming too, and maybe about HR too, because these are completely different. These are not transferable skills. For the
Mm.
areas where there are transferable skills, you should mention only that, and those are only the one that are actually required or can be beneficial in your role. So this is the first thing. And second thing is, as per the latest surveys, almost 80 to 90% of the companies around the globe are using ATS. So if you are not having an ATS resume friendly, you are not going to get the job. It's simple as that. You cannot get the job. Simple. And for the interview preparation, you can just go on and look about the company, find on LinkedIn, maybe you can find about the CEO, about their journey, their ideology, what kind of people they are looking for, because right now the stress is upon the company's culture. They are always looking for good people to make a good culture. So if they see that you are not culturally fit, maybe even then you will not have the chance, even if you are skilled. So
Mm.
you have to make sure that you know the company's culture, you know the company's background, their ideology, their vision and mission, and then you can explain yourself that obviously your personal branding, that I am coming from this background and I feel that we are very much alike, and this is how I can bring profitability to the company.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hassan, maybe you can give us your parting shot.
I'll keep a short and sweet one this time. I won't quote Captain Jack Sparrow this time. Maybe next time. So, one key takeaway from today is that the GCC job market rewards those who are prepared, who are proactive, and who are people smart. So it's not about just sending your applications. It's about knowing the market. It's about tailoring your approach, and it's also showing up with a purpose and a mission in your mind.
Mm. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Um, I think for me, my encouragement is get your head out of uh, the hole. You know that concept of the ostrich, the way it has its head in the ground. Get your head out of the ground. And by that I mean you operate in a particular ecosystem, and there's whatever you know, and what you know, you know. But there's a whole other world out there. I'm always amazed because I travel back and forth to Dubai and GCC quite frequently. Atan has been trying to get me to go to Bahrain. I'm probably going to go down there very soon. Um, and that exposes me to really understand what's going on out there. And it always shocks me how, when I come back, people don't know what's happening out there. So, and through this platform and other platforms, there's so many platforms, especially in the digital world, where you can actually get to understand. So in this particular scenario, please, this is just a start. We're just giving you a sneak peek. Please get to understand what's happening in GCC. Get to understand what's happening in Bahrain in your particular sector. Get to understand what's happening in Dubai, in Ras Al Khaimah. There is a whole world out there of opportunity that is actually available for you. Unfortunately, you don't know what you don't know, and what you don't know can't help you. I know they say what you don't know can't hurt, but not in this world. What you don't know can't help you. And so my encouragement to you is Get out there, go online. All these days, at the touch of a button, these phones, at the touch of a button, you have the whole world literally at your fingertips. Use that to just find out what's going on out there in your sector. What are the new developments that are happening? Because it's there's this analogy I always say: if you're too busy taking care of your tree and you're under the tree, there might be an elephant that's coming, and it might be it's still far away. It might be 500 meters away. But when that elephant gets to your tree, you will not have a tree. And it's the same thing. Right now we're talking about ATS and AI. Artificial intelligence is here, guys. We are in that era where people may be forced to move from one career to another because a new technology has come in and has completely made your entire sector completely irrelevant. And so adapt. This is the age of the person who's able to adapt, the person who's able to change and move with the times. So get your head out of the ground, find out what's going on across the seas. This webinar is a perfect example. Like I said, I'd not even realized it. We are literally doing a webinar with people from 3 different continents and reaching to the whole world. And so that's the same thing I encourage you guys, get your head out of the ground, get with the program, find out what's going on. Of course, for everybody else who wants to now take practical steps, Bonnie at mawaidhaafrica.com +254 755 622 911. Call 911, the emergency of your career development emergency. Reach out to us, please. Let's do that evaluation. Let's get you moving. Until next time, bye bye, guys. Hassan, you're not
Thank you,
waving. Why
everyone.
are you not waving?
You're not.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Awesome.
Bye. Thank you.
Take care.